Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number 2520-601. This is what's called an auxiliary spring, maybe a gate spring or a gate closer, some people will call it, but this is just a typical surface-mounted gate spring, albeit a larger size. It's larger than the average gate spring that you're going to see. Features these L-shaped mounting pads, and that is inherently part of the 2500 series versus the 24 or 2400 or 2430, 2440 series. L-shaped, which is very conducive depending on the installation of what you're attaching it to. In the 2500 series, it will all have these sorts of mounting brackets. There's a 2500, 2510, and then 2520. The difference is, of course, the size, overall length, etc., duty. What I end up seeing more common is the 2500, the smallest one, probably because of the cost. And then what someone will do will simply add another one if they find that it's not adequate. I don't see these big springs all that often installed, but when I have seen them installed, they are certainly on larger gates, is where you'll see it. Anyway, this item has a link below this video to a document called Template, and that's handy because it's a technical drawing showing everything important dimensionally about this item. And it will show the height of the brackets, height of the spring, etc. Okay, let's go over that now. So these brackets, you can see from that drawing, are basically 2-inch tall. A little heavy, a little larger than 2-inch, but 2 3/16. The spring dimension, the exposed portion of the spring dimension, about 10-inch, 10 1/4 inch. Okay. With that mounting bracket, overall, we can eyeball that or judge that on the camera at about 2 inches as well. Now, there is a follow-up link there called instructions, and those are included, of course, with your package, but they're very simple and straightforward. The bottom line is this: the orientation of this spring hinge is going to be the same regardless of the door. It will always be installed this way, whether it's a left hand or a right hand door. This will either be the door portion for a right hand or the frame portion, pardon me. This will be the door portion for a right hand, or it'll end up, if you move it over here to the other side of the door, it'll be the frame portion for a left hand. Okay? And that is obviously because the spring only turns one way. So this will be the top portion with the, this will be the top portion with the tension collar. Tension collar in Bomber usually always goes towards the top unless you're specifically directed to turn that hinge over, and there are instances of that. However, not for this spring hinge. So it's fixed down here with this fixed pin. Okay, so as that pin butts up to the bracket, it stops right there. This will continue to freewheel up here. So what you'll do is you'll get this installed, placed how you need it to be placed. The important, crucial aspect to know is that your edge of the frame to the beginning of the bracket on your frame portion is 1/8 of an inch. So from here to the frame is 1/8 of an inch. This has to be offset, kicked in over on the face of the frame by 1/8. And this, they are giving you that same dimension correspondingly, or from the what would end up being the other side, over here to the edge of the door, 1/8 of an inch. So it's will certainly look like this, but not drastically so. Okay, how your installation is going to look. It's mounted on an angle is what we're trying to say on that. After you have it physically placed, and there is no dimension from the top of the door as given. I generally see it installed in somewhere in the range of 2/3 above the ground of the height of the door. I'm not aware of any hard and fast rule, except that I would certainly want this towards the top of the door rather than the bottom so that it's more effective. When you get it installed, and by the way, screws are included, By the way, also, there's a tension pin in that same package. It's just a piece of steel that's there. When you get that installed, you're going to rotate that with your tension rod. And you're going to turn it clockwise. And as you do that, and I'm going to restrict the spring down here from turning, okay, you're able to turn additional tension on that spring. And of course this is fixed, so what it's looking like is this as you're turning that tension rod. And it's into one of those new holes that you will, not new holes, but as you turn it clockwise, you'll expose a new hole, you'll insert the pin. No more than 3 new holes of tension is to be set on this spring. And that's how you go about setting tension. It's quite frankly that simple and that easy. We've sold these to home builders doing, houses and wooden fences in the backyard, gates, etc. Wrought iron stuff on the front of 3 flats, you'll see them all the time. The 601 part of the part number means black japanned. That is this color. It's the only color that this is available in. And it's very typical and common. Okay. The name Bommer is really synonymous for 2 words, hinge and spring. And when you put those together, Bommer is a comprehensive manufacturer, or probably the most comprehensive manufacturer of that item, or those items, than any other manufacturer. While this piece does not say it, it doesn't have their logo. Practically every other piece has their logo, and above it it says Made in USA. That's a fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. If you have any questions on the Bommer number 2520-601 gate spring or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.